first, stress is not what do we call disorder. I mean, it's not under the psychiatric issue. Stress is normal to everyone. Everyone having stress. When you need motivation, you need stress.
Yes.
And sometimes stress can be can affect you in a negative way, and sometimes it will give you a positive impact. So coming back to the question, what is the effective way? It depends on the client, is on the client themselves. Basically, during the counseling session, we will go through the exploration stage. We help the client to get to know more what is the factor and how do they become stressed. So by having that exploration process, we will help them to get insight. So from that part, then only we will help client to overcome their stress. Definitely different between every client. It might be beneficial for the client when we use cognitive behavior therapy in order to helping them, and some of the client we are using rational emotive behavior therapy. So basically, stress is the current situation. It's not illness or it's not a disorder. That is the current situation. To show or to to differentiate your level, what we need to do with that client. Well, as what I said just now, we have some limitation, but there are cases that the client who has what do we call psychiatrist part. I mean, disorder. For example, personality disorder, depression disorder,
Anxiety.
yes, anxiety disorder, panic attack, and whatsoever. So we got some cases, but not all the client we refer to the psychiatrist. For those clients who are still stable, still can control the symptom, they still continue the counseling session. But those who are unstable or can under control the symptom, then we will refer them to the psychiatrist with their permission. Well, basically the symptom are different. It depends on the disorder. Basically, when we talk about mental health, there are so many categories. For example, schizophrenia, personality disorder, obsessive compulsive stress disorder. It depends on that kind of disorder. So I cannot say the symptom are same. For example, schizophrenia, the symptom is different. Like that student might have what do we call hallucination, delusion. They listen to the voice that no one else can listen also, or they start to see someone that doesn't exist. So that is the critical symptom. But for panic attack, for anxiety disorder, the symptom are different. They might have what do we call sweating, heartbeat, palpitation, okay, short breath. So I can't say the symptom is same. Symptom, it depend on the disorder itself. So how to identify? If you are concerned to your friend, you will get to know that they are different from the usual situation. We are crying, we are laughing, we having a social activity. But those who are what do we call deeply sad, or taking so what do we call a long period of moody or mood swing. Sometimes that person can laugh, and the split of second can sad. So something that very unusual. You get to know that there must be something that they have to meet the expert. So I'm not saying that is the symptom that you can portray that this student having mental health, but then if you think that they are unusual, right, so you can suggest them to make their expertise. For example, when a student having a very episode, right, crying, sadness because of the grieving, because of the bereavement, so 1 month to 3 months, that is normal. No, I disagree. Basically, mental issue or mental health issue doesn't connect to any religious. It doesn't do to any religious issue. Everyone have that kind of tendency. It depends on how how you manage your emotion, how you manage yourself, how do you think. Okay, either you are very easy to get demotivated and whatsoever. It depends on the characteristic of the person, and somehow it can be genetically issue, if you have some history of your family members who having mental disorder, you might have that kind of tendency, but it's not all. It depends on some cases. I think if you ask the psychiatrist also, they might say the same thing, but nothing to do with religion. It depends on the characteristic and the individual itself, and also the environment. Basically, nowadays, all people having such a busy life. Every day we are being pressed and stressed, hectic life. Okay, working hours. You have to do a very best to your family. You have stress in a workplace setting, and then you come back to home, and then you cannot manage yourself. It also can be a factor. The situation, the characteristic of that individual, the genetic, it also play the role. So nothing related to religion.